Greetings, one and all, from the White Mountains of Arizona. The sun is setting, and it's time for us to channel before the coyotes rip us to shreds. No, I'm just kidding. They're very friendly coyotes. Tara's over there getting ready to channel. Today's Monday, the anniversary of the 9/11 event. And we wanted to get some answers. What a better time to channel it. And to be honest with you, I have my own opinions of the whole thing, and they're going to come out anyway in this channeling, so I might as well kind of explain them to you. 9/11, as with many people, had a large part in me waking up. The discovery of not everything is what we were told concerning this event, and well, I just believe that it was orchestrated by the cabal, the level of consciousness just out of human grasp. Not human, I shouldn't say that. They're just in a higher frequency, so they can manipulate and they can control this dimension, and so they do. I think they're behind it, and I think it was a planned thing to, what did it do? It brought the Patriot Act. It allowed them to acclimate Americans to searches at the airport. I mean, what didn't it do? A 30-year war in Afghanistan and Iraq to basically plunder the area and get rid of all opposition, take some resources in the process. So, I mean, there was a lot of reasons for it, but we'll get some answers here. Tara's, we don't know who she's going to connect to, first of all, so that's going to be a mystery. She's got her teddy bear Stuffy there to keep her hands from clenching too tightly. I don't want to get a view of his face because I could fall off this cliff. Like, oh my god. It doesn't look like much to you, but it's pretty far down there. I would die.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Who or what are you connected to?
The towers.
The towers have consciousness?
They developed a consciousness or energy after all those years, all those people treating them like they were human. They would say hello to them every day. They would complain to them. People basically put energy into the towers.
Wow. So humans created a consciousness with their combined intention?
Yes.
Holy cow. Does this take a group of humans, or could one human do it?
It was many humans over a long period of time.
Okay. What frequency is this consciousness in?
40.
4D. Okay, so you're an astral consciousness.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have polarity?
All three: positive, negative, neutral, since that is the polarities of everyone throughout all the years.
So you're just a combination of all those people's intentions.
Yes.
Can you tell us what happened that day and the events leading up to it?
The energy had shifted. There were a few people who had entered both towers to, it seemed like, do maintenance or survey somehow. But they were there for other reasons, to see the day-to-day, to make sure everything was running as normal. The people will be there as normal, that everything was in working order. So there'd be no reason for people to not come to work.
So they wanted a high death count?
there were many who came to work that day, but also quite a few who didn't, due to circumstances outside of our structure.
So some people's higher selves led them away from the building that day?
Yes.
Some higher selves led them towards the building?
Collectively, they felt something off about that day. They all felt like maybe the sprinkler system would come on, or they kept thinking sprinkler system. Something wrong with the sprinkler systems. Some people try to brush it off, but we felt it because it was them. They all felt something, but maybe didn't quite understand what they were feeling. Like something could go wrong, but maybe they brush it off to the Xerox machine is not working.
So they allowed their egos uh, to distort their higher self's message.
Yes.
Because they wanted to exit on that day?
The souls who exited that day, it was one of their exit points. They could have chosen to exit that day or not, but it was one of the points. Each individual soul had an individual mission with that for their individual families and for the city, for the state, for the country, for the collective consciousness as a whole. They all had varying missions. It's not one mission for all, but many chose that exit that day.
Can you tell us more about who perpetrated it and why?
The bosses, not of the buildings, the bosses of the people, of the country. They want to do something to their workers. They need the workers to do something for them.
Go to war?
They need the country's consent for what they want to do. It needs to be something big enough that many would be too distraught to say no, especially because we learn human nature. People do not want their loved ones to die in vain.
Yeah, I was alive during the time, and it was astoundingly easy to convince normal, rational people to scream for war without any evidence to support anything that Bush was saying. Um, so they brought in the war, they brought in the Patriot Act, they brought in what's the people at the airport? TSA. Was there more to their plan than that, or was that about it?
It was to keep a subconscious message that would last many generations. People who remember that day will tell their children. When their children grow, the grandparents will tell the grandchildren. And at least for a few generations, they have bought themselves some time of servitude. All you need do is bring up the emotion of that day. Humans are very emotional beings. They will feel it deeply. It will hurt. They will want the pain to go away. Those who have created the tragedy will undoubtedly have the answer to that pain, and they will have you direct your intention and your manifestation towards what they wish, with the guise that your pain will be alleviated.
So they willingly sacrificed 5,000 people's lives.
It had to be a big enough number. When enough humans exit the earth at one time, it is felt throughout the entire collective consciousness, a mass exit, felt not only in your country, but all over the planet. From humans to trees to animals, everybody feels it in the collective consciousness. So, with that, it is easy to manipulate the unassuming human.
With all the evidence, with everything that we can research about that day and the days before and the days after, how come some people can't see through the deception?
They're not meant to. Not everyone sees exactly the same. In our buildings, let's say you take the 100th floor. Everyone on that floor will claim to see the same thing, but they do not. It is just every soul is different, but yet you are all one. So you need these varying perspectives. You need the perspectives of those who wish to embrace one truth, and the perspectives of those who wish to embrace another, or another, or another. This doesn't make you wrong, but that you need that perspective in your collective consciousness. It helps you to make more fair decisions. You can see it as the angel and devil on your shoulder, you say, but it's within your collective consciousness. It really is the culmination of all of you that you pull this information from.
Okay. And at some level, humanity as a collective called in this event. We asked for it, we wanted it, we needed it. So what was the lesson, or one of the main lessons in 9/11?
It was really a catalyst for change. Although, yes, you can see this from a rather negative perspective. I mean, we no longer stand. And there's obviously a very awful reason for that, you would feel. But also, people began to wake up. They wanted to see beyond the answers they were being given. Something didn't feel right, just as it didn't feel right for many that day. And so many went into that feeling, and they have been waking up ever since. Just as it was a mass exit, it was also a mass awakening. And we would say that those who gave up their lives, those souls, did not die in vain. They allowed for the awakening of their fellow human.
What will happen to those who perpetrated this evil on earth?
They continue to do what they do. There is no turning the polarity of a particular being. They continue to enact what they have to do, what their higher self asks them to do. And in doing so, they could cause destruction, but from destruction also causes a remembrance of who you truly are, a strength. It is not a strength of a country, but a strength of the collective consciousness, of a remembering that you do have a soul, that you do have power, power beyond any dictator or president or chancellor, that it's beyond this planet. And as much as you would like to stop those who perpetrate what you see as evil, it is also just as important that you remember your light. Don't forget it. It is so easy to lose sight of your light and your power when you're focused on the destruction of what you think is evil.
How can we show love and gratitude to those who perpetrated this?
You can thank them for showing you what happens to an unconscious collective. What happens when we do not look within ourselves? What happens when you don't listen to those hunches and those niggles, as some say? When you ignore that in favor of a control program, you create your own demise. But yet, even in that, those around you learn and they grow.
Okay, well, 20 something years later, are we on progress to learn the lessons we need to learn, or is there still going to be a need to create such chaos in order for us to grow?
You may feel that in your current times, things have gotten, we hear, more and more out of control, that things seem to be getting worse. But this isn't the case. It's the same as it has always been, but because of those who gave up their earthly form for you, you are now aware of what is going on. You see it because of their sacrifice. Without their sacrifice, you would be much further behind than you are now.
Well, very good. That was fascinating. I thank you for sharing your information. We love you. We're sorry you had to experience that, but I'm sure that was your own lesson, your own mission. Is there any last message you have for the people before we go?
When you think of the towers, think of the image. Many of you who read cards have seen this image in your cards. It is a very old one, your high priestess. They want to push their information on you and have you not gather this information from your highest self. So they had the pillars, the towers, us, fall as a way to get you to believe that they have control of your intuition. but this is erroneous. It only strengthened your intuition. Whoa.
Look to your right. The light
Oh,
show.
whoa. Holy schmoly.
Looks like rain coming down over there.
That is so beautiful.
The camera's not doing it justice.
My camera can never pick up these sunsets.
What the heck?
That looks so cool. Oh, wow. I'm so glad I was holding the teddy.
Yeah. A little stressed out?
I think I squished this poor little guy to death, but hey, thanks. Glad I had this. Wow. Whew. Well, tapping into the towers was actually tapping into all the people that had ever worked in the towers. So I felt all of them. That was like, there's so many emotions.
Oh my.
It was so much human emotion. Just the emotion of like people that were going to work there, the emotion of what happened when there was no more towers. Like it was just like, whoa.
You may have to ground after that.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's on the docket.
Well, fascinating. I never expected to channel a tower.
Yeah.
That was a new concept for me, but okay.
That was interesting. Yeah, that we had pumped some sort of energetic consciousness, sort of a consciousness into it. It was basically just, I guess, remnants of all the people there had made sort of a thing, I guess.
Jeez, what other things have we made? Jeez, I hate to think of it.
Maybe that's why people say that sometimes they feel like the house has a soul, or the car has a soul. It could be the same thing.
Just enough humans have pumped intention there.
Yeah, we're powerful, you guys. So I think that's the main takeaway is like, don't forget how powerful you are. No matter how scared like these things try to make you, these cabal or whatever you want to call them, you're way more powerful. So yeah, can't wait to watch it back.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
All right, you guys. Really, if you have
turning red over there.
Oh, do you? Whoa, dude, that looks like fire. That is so. Is that the sun?
It just looks pink on the camera. Yeah, it's the sun going behind clouds and rain.
Wow, it's like a big red thing. It's like fuchsia.
Yeah.
Whoa. All right. Well, on that note, you guys, don't forget to drop us off some more suggestions for channelings or questions you have for channelings. We appreciate everything you guys have suggested to us so far. We write down everything. So thank you guys, and we'll catch you on the next one. All right.
All right.
Bye.